So this is something I thought that I can make a video on, which might be useful to all of you. The reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like there's a lot of shaming in this community of manifestation, that if you have insecurities, if you feel a certain way about something because you haven't been able to process certain things, people usually comment that you're not in the wishful state or the desired end. But to be in the desired end and sometimes to process difficult things, you need to actually digest the difficult things so that you're able to move forward. Now what happens is, we sometimes keep things inside only, that because just because it is difficult, it would like hamper my peace of mind or something like that. But if it is disturbing, like sometimes what happens is we start overthinking, right? We start overthinking about certain things, and then so at that point of time, you should be able to process those emotions. That's what I feel. So what do I mean by process those emotions? Basically, to validate your own self and understand what your subconscious is trying to say. So what happens is sometimes, like, okay, so let me just tell about myself. So I had a story inside of my mind, and it's not like a story which I carry all the time, but it's like an intrusive feeling inside of me which makes me feel this way. So what do you do when there's a part of your mind which says I think my SB doesn't love me, because like it's not about like you believe in him, and you believe in everything. But what happens is sometimes uh, your mind might be looping something which is difficult for you to digest. So how do you process that? So first of all, I would like to tell you that this is very human. Why I'm saying this is very human is because any person would feel a certain way about something if it is not in favor. So it's human. But so some what happened to me is that so my mind started looping certain things, wherein he talked about uh, loving someone before me, and he literally used this word when we were even together. Like, I'm not saying that he did it directly, but he might have some unprocessed emotions, and he was discussing about it, and I was hearing it as a friend. I didn't even realize that that would go so deep within me, that I would start thinking that what if, like, tomorrow if she comes, would he leave everything for her and go to her? And I know that he won't do it, but there's this scared part of me which feels this way, and I'm not able to process those emotions properly, because I feel like if you were there with me and you said these things, then that means you still love him. You still love her. Do you love me less than her? So that unhealthy comparison, that thing which should not bother you, that started bothering me. And somewhere I was in a bad competition. Of course he loves me, because like I'm just saying in behalf of my SB, for the words he didn't say, but I'm saying it for validating myself, that of course he loves me. Otherwise, why would he propose me? Why would he say that I want to be in a relationship with you? Had he really not want to had he not really loved me, right? And not just that, like, I've heard him saying to his friends that you cannot compare your first with anything else. And I feel like you cannot compare anything with anything. It's not about first love, second love, third love, fourth love, fifth love. It's not about that. It's not about the number of who came first or who came last. But it's about, you cannot compare two experiences in your life. Of course, that person was a different person. She made you feel different about certain things. Of course, that experience itself was different. Similarly, you fell for someone else and that person gave you a different experience. You cannot compare two different experiences together. I think that was also one of those triggers wherein I heard him saying to someone that your first love is first love, and if you're lucky you might find someone else, uh, uh, but that will not be, that will not be the same thing to, that will not make you feel the same way. So no two feelings can be the same way. Like the person before my SP, I loved him a lot, but that experience is not similar to what I feel with my SP. But my SP is my soulmate. So I think I diverted from the topic a lot. But this is just to let you know the depth of my feelings. So I would like to tell you guys how to process those kind of emotions. So first is that you have to let it go. So when I mean that let it go, I mean like let your intrusive thoughts run its course, and don't let that story repeat in your head. First thing. Second thing is that when you have these kinds of moments, and when you have someone like your SP didn't affirm you in the 3D, you might feel not chosen or rejected, but you have to tell yourself in these moments that I am enough. I am the one for him. He feels for me what I feel for him. You must say these things. Maybe repeat this 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times if you want to, but do it. I am the one for him. I am enough. He feels the same way for me what I feel for him. I am the one. I am enough. He feels for me what I feel for him. I am the one. I am enough. He feels for me what I feel for him. So what you must understand is all these thoughts which you are getting, they are your fear playing out. They are your someone's avoidance tendencies or patterns playing up, and that's not their avoidance is not the real them. Their avoidance is just a part of the story, which like any other phase, like if you are going through a bad phase in your life, that doesn't mean that that bad phase would go on forever, right? So you need to understand that. Okay, now how to break this pattern? First thing is that if your mind goes like, if somebody is like getting married to someone, and if it's a non-love match, first thing is that you might get triggered. Why you might get triggered is because you're seeing someone settle. First thing is that you see them that way. Second thing is that you might be fond of seeing love matches. Not match, sorry, I hate this word matches, but let me just tell you this, you might see someone having a love marriage, and that encourages you. Similarly, and if you see someone not having those kinds of things, you might be like, oh, I don't want to see it. But it's not like you're judging that other person. It's just that you're not fond of those kinds of vibes which it gives you, and maybe in your head you have attached it with something unfavorable. Maybe your parents divorce, maybe something like wherein you didn't have a good story of you and your recipe. So you need to break from that, and maybe if you don't like something, just avoid seeing it. That's all I can say. So that is one thing. Second is that if something your ISP told you in the past that haunts you, you will have to say this. Maybe repeat this as much time as you want until you believe it. His past pain is not a measure of my worth. I am the woman he's meant to grow with, and not the one he lost or he doesn't see his life with. Okay, forget this word, this loss and all that. Just tell yourself that his past pain is not a measure of my worth. I am the woman he's meant to grow with, and he sees me as his life partner. So you can say this. And so if at a certain point of time your mind is, you feel that you're in a loop of like something like wherein he said that okay, just tell me what to do to break this, or etc, certain things like that. So you can just tell yourself that my person loves me in ways maybe he doesn't know how to express, but he's learning, and I'm still safe in love. He confesses his love to me every day, and I'm not going to teach you that just because your person doesn't know how to say in 3D how much he loves you, that you also assume the same thing in your subconscious mind. No, if you want to hear I love you from them, you should loop only that story part of your mind. But at the time being, if you're feeling like you need those reassuring words and you're not getting it, so you can tell yourself that my person loves me in ways he doesn't know how to express. So this way you're affirming your subconscious mind that he loves me, but he doesn't know how to say it. But don't make it your base and primary story, otherwise your person will never speak what is there inside of his mind, because your main goal is to be reassured and to reassure him, right? So if you want that, create that in your life. Why would you create a version of him in your reality wherein he's not able to express properly, he's not able to choose you? So like that. Okay, now okay, so one thing is that when do you feel like, if you get triggered by someone's past, especially your SP's past, and you're like, I just don't know how to get this out of my head. It's just going too much of inside of my mind. So how do you process that? First thing is that maybe somewhere you are feeling yourself to be someone's second best. So first thing I would ask you to do is, you are the first best. You are the first best, even if even if Harvard rejects you, even if big colleges reject you at some point of time, you still have to have this self concept that I'm the first best. You are no way someone's second choice, option, anything. Because in my case, it is not about all these kinds of things, but some or the other way you pick up those kind of labels which you hear people listening, or something which happened in your past wherein you felt you are the second best, or wherein you felt like you are someone's option. Like, I'm not talking about my SP here, I'm telling you guys again. So someone else made me feel this way. So you carried that narrative for a long time where you needed to let it go. So what you need to learn is to have a self concept which makes you put yourself first. If you don't tell this to your subconscious mind that I'm the first best, I have no competition, I'm the only chosen one, then why will your reality project that? Because your inner programming is such a shitty self concept that everything else will just project what you are feeling. That's why people say feel good, and then life starts feeling better. Why? Because you feel good about yourself, you feel good about things. So that's the thing. Okay, so you need to feel you are chosen. You are someone he sacrifices everything to be with you. Okay, so you need to validate yourself by this. So sometimes when you feel hurt, you can say, of course this hurts, but this is not the real truth. This is just a part of my story which panned out in the past, and that's over. He loves me, he sees life with me, he's my soulmate. So you need to tell that to yourself, and then reframe the story that he said he would leave everything for his ex. So that doesn't mean he didn't feel the same for me. So just flip this by saying this statement was a reflection of his unhealed wounds, not a reflection of how he saw me. He was grieving a past that never chose him, and he didn't yet realize that the kind of love he wanted was already in front of him. So you are the love of his life. Nobody would love him the way you do, because if somebody had to actually choose him, they could, but they didn't. That means that was never love in the first place, because somebody who loves you would leave everything for you. That's how love is. Maybe he hurt, but so that's the thing. Okay, So you need to tell this to yourself, you need to reaffirm this to yourself. So you need to say yourself that it's the unhealed wounds of him which talk like that. So that doesn't mean that he would actually do that. He would obviously choose me. I'm the soulmate, I'm his soulmate. If you make that a story, if you make that a dominant story, instead of going back and like spiraling over what someone said, no, stop it. You're torturing yourself actually.